we're getting ready for Around the EcomiVerse. Get pumped up. Get excited. Here we go.
Yo, yo, yo! Around the EcomiVerse, episode 70. I hope you guys like that intro. I just put that intro together.
That was
what do you guys
awesome.
think?
I liked
You liked it? Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
I liked
Queen
it.
VeVe.
I liked it.
I like the Matrix thing going down like this.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had so much fun making it. And yeah, I really, really like putting different things together. And you know, the generic intro is cool, but we've all seen it a million times. So I thought I could do something custom now. And I've been playing with guys. Have you seen Udio? It's like studio without the ST. It's called Udio. It's a music making website, and it is amazing. It is like Sora. So if you guys know Sora, how it makes an amazing video, I think it uses neural nets to do the same thing, but for audio. So it stitches together audio in such a way that you can give it a text prompt and it can make amazing songs from scratch. Really easy. It's called Udio, UDIO. Quick plug for them, not sponsored.
Udio.
Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, Udio. It's really cool. And I made an outro song as well for this show. At the end, you guys get to hear that. Inspired
Nice.
by you, Crypto Rain, because you've got that cool rap song at the end. So inspired by that, I made one for the Omi homies, for the fam.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
yes.
so-
It was good. It was really good, Jordan. I was like, wait, what is this? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah, I sorry for the late start, everyone. I scrambled to quickly upload that video. I forgot what I had to do, and so I have kids as my alarm clocks, and because right now it's 8 a.m. here, and my alarm clock kids did not go off today. They slept until 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. is only 1 hour ago. So I got up real late compared to normal. Normally I'm up at 5 a.m. about, that's like 3 hours ago from now. So so I got up real late and everything's sort of last minute. But yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks to Crypto Rain, Dr. Stuff, Queen VeVe, and Real Randy Chavez. Got an awesome show today. Who got that last Lambo drop? Do you guys get in?
No, the resale is significantly below, except for on the secret rare.
Ooh. I'll have to pick some of those up.
Yeah, a pretty good deal, right? You saw how it can drift. That part's cool.
And the speed, I think, my husband said it's noticeably quicker than some of the as it should be in real life. So he did pick up on that after watching Rudy. And we did not go for it on the drop, but we did pick. He picked, I think, the uncommon and the common up after, but it kind of went just, unfortunately, with the addition size and the time in the market right now, it was rough at $70. If it would have been 40, it would have been gone. Or
so no one got Lamborghinis, but does everybody have a Wolverine?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Doc, how many Wolverines do you have? What's the number?
No, honestly, like I'm ashamed. I only have one at this point.
What? No.
I have been. I cannot even tell you how crazy. Even just getting to this stream, like, oh man, like if I could, I am so far behind on so many things. I haven't had time. Now look, I've got some crypto projects that are starting to do pretty well, and I'm really excited because we're not even in the bull run. And that's my thing is like I'm just gonna let some of that run because even if Wolverine does like a 2x or 3x, I got a project right now. I mean, granted, a lot can happen. Like my vesting period is 6 months. There's a 6 month cliff, so like a lot can happen to the price action in 6 months. But right now, it's up at it's like a 55x. So like. I don't think that Wolverine's going to do a 55x. So I'm going to wait.
So you're going to come back and collect them.
With Omi
the Randy excuse.
I legit.
I love Spider-Man, but
I saw somebody with 100. One guy has 100 Wolverines already.
Wow.
Yes. Standoff charts. He's
103 now.
it's true though, right? I mean, right now it's kind of hard to, not want to put it in, put it in the, different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So
great.
I do now. I remember when it launched, and you were like, "Doc, how do you feel about it?" And I just saw the face, and I was like, I've got to process this." But with the mask on, and when I did it in AR, I'm like, "All right, that is actually really, really dope." So super excited on that. And I try to go for rebounds. I don't know how people are getting like several rebounds because I'm
Yeah.
Someone got like a
torn on
32-minute rebound or something.
I-
Someone
Do
said.
you hardwire in? Do you go like right to your modem and wire in?
No, maybe
Well,
I
that's
need
your
to.
freaking problem.
Maybe I need to. Maybe I need to.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what you can do, right, is you can get this, if you got a USB-C connect on your phone, you get a USB-C to Cat5 connection or
Yep.
Cat6, and you can literally
Oh, I'm gonna do that next time.
cable in your phone, so it's
Because I've got like a gig internet speed. I've got super fast internet
Then
speed. But
that's
then the
so do
wireless.
we. That helps.
yeah, wireless slows everything down.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
now I know.
That's that's like advice. That's so funny, Randy. Randy, you could attest to this. How shit comes full circle. Like that's something that we were talking about, and the ones who knew were doing like 2.5 years ago to get the drops when nobody else
I was
could.
doing it.
Right?
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in Australia though. Australia's
Clockgate
so
and
slow.
all those other things, and now comes right back around. Sometimes you got to go back to basics, Doc. Go back to the old school.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a ton of that. I never did actually connect my laptop. I connected my No, I never connected my phone directly to it. I would stand right by the modem, and I never did do that because I'd heard theories of like it doesn't help or all that stuff, and I was like, all right. But I mean, I'm for these high quality drops to try to get a rebound, like it's worth it, like because I totally would have. I didn't care what the price did. I wanted fresh mints of Wolverine. So had I been able to get them, I probably would have bought several right off the drop. But then it went up and then it went down and it's hung down and then it jumped up again. And now I think it's back down again. Oh no, it's hanging at $112 basically is the floor. Right
Yeah,
now.
I didn't stay up to 1 a.m. to get the drop, so I picked one up the next day for $95. Seems pretty decent.
Yeah, it's not bad. Especially
Nice.
it looks so good. They did a good job. I mean, the face itself, it is like classic Wolverine. So I've actually been X-Men 97. I started watching those episodes and I'm like, I need to go back and watch the original X-Men series. So I just finished season 1. I'm on season 2 and watching all that. But honestly, like it's a pretty good like representation of Wolverine from back then, So yeah.
Which show is this? The old cartoon?
Original X-Men
The
cartoon.
1990s.
Oh man, I love those cartoons. I haven't seen those in about 20, 25 years. or something.
Me either, but it's on Disney Plus, just like X-Men 97 is, and so I've just started watching those. Yeah, to kind of jump back into because like I won't ruin anything for people who haven't started watching the X-Men 97, but there's some characters that I'm like, I don't remember them being in, but like they portray them as already knowing who they are, and I'm like, I don't remember that character there, so I got to go back and watch everything.
There is a lot of characters in X-Men.
Yeah, there's a ton.
And we got a few of the heroes already. We don't have Wolverine as an X-Men yet. We'll get him at some point. And then we just got some of the villains that were announced yesterday, with the exception of Emma Frost. I'm not 100% sure why she's a villain, but yeah. So we got those. We'll get them on Saturday. What is it?
I thought the White Queen was a villain.
I do
Emma
have to.
Frost?
Isn't Emma Frost the White Queen?
Yeah. I mean, she could make herself like diamond skin. I guess she can be, but for the most part, like she became the leader of the X-Men at some point. She had she was like the what do you call it? The other woman in Scott's marriage with Jean Grey. They fell in love, and she kind of like they were dating for a while. But she also kept the X-Men out of like the Civil War that was going on between the Avengers and like the rest of the heroes. But yeah, I still like her.
Brandy, I know you probably like this. The Deadpool
Yeah.
trailer. Who's seen it?
Yeah,
Tons of
seen it
Easter
yet.
eggs.
Yeah.
Just looks
it was
insane.
awesome.
When's that? You said that was June? Is that right? 2 months?
July.
July. Oh, that's a while away still. And we got that. I don't know if you guys follow. We got Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That was a bit of a joke match, but then they have the two best female boxers ever going at it. I can't remember their names. So Amanda and some other
Nunes?
lady. They're both like super, super good boxers. And
Amanda
this
Nunes?
is a rematch. Pardon?
Amanda Nunes.
I will look it up right now.
All right, that's fine.
But that's the
Um,
undercard. So it's actually like a proper boxing match undercard, which is going to really sell it.
Cool.
Well, and that fight will be interesting, right? Have you noticed how big Logan Paul's gotten? Like, he's big, and so
Not Logan Paul. It's
Jake
or
Paul.
Jake Paul, yeah.
But brothers, and so he kind of can like ride the coattails of that, right?
Here
Like,
we go.
his status is elevated because of Jake Paul. I mean of
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's
Just like
Katie
Katie
Taylor.
guys, Logan Paul. He's ridden on his coattails a little bit, but all I just want to freaking see Mike Tyson just connect clean once and knock the crap out. Like he will be out. I don't care if Mike Tyson's freaking 30 or 60, right? Like I think he's like 52 or 50 something. 58, dude.
Yeah.
He makes one clean connection and Jake Paul is out. Like
It's
out.
it's Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano.
Gotcha.
Guys know those two.
Okay.
And-
I remember
and
the
then-
days when Mike Tyson was unstoppable, right? And they created that Nintendo game, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and yeah, those were
Man,
the days.
I expect Mike Tyson to like first round knockout Jake Paul. My man.
I mean, I know Jake Paul has to have headgear though to kind of like protect them, and I feel like that's
I
kind
think
of
there's no headgear. There's no headgear. But
Oh,
I
they're
think
not
they are
anymore?
using big gloves. I think they're using 16-ounce gloves, so huge gloves to protect Jake from losing bits.
There's so Coolmo mentioned low mint mix sell wall. I don't know if he was hacked or anything, but he's not showing up on Twitter anymore, and it seems like he sold about 250 of his stormtroopers, and then about 5 of his Black Panthers. So I don't know if he was hacked or anything, or if he's making it seem like he was hacked because now his Twitter's not showing up, and now he's just selling everything.
Oh, that's sad.
That's weird, yeah.
Well, he's in the Ecomi SR logo group. He didn't say anything there.
Yeah.
Maybe his wife is selling it.
That's
So
possible.
there might be
That's-
some trouble in paradise.
We should do a shout
Sometimes
out.
wives have a tendency to do some things when they're pissed off.
Shout out to the Secret Rare Ecomi logo group. That group's going off.
That
is
group's
awesome.
amazing.
What are we at now? 240 members or something like that?
Yeah, around like it might be higher now. Let's see.
Probably high. I haven't checked this morning since I woke up.
I haven't checked the.
243 or something around there. But there's not really many left.
244.
244. Yeah. Because those
Nice.
logos are getting expensive now, right? They're over $2,000, I think now.
No, they're like 18.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
and-
2K US or Australian dollars.
Oh, that'd be like almost $3,000 Australian. You guys are 1.5. So that's
All right, let's see what we got here.
that's you can buy a car here for that.
Yeah, about 17. Yeah, what's up, Bill?
You can buy
how
a
about
car
only
for
with
$3,000
base?
in Australia.
Oh, you can buy Omi and VeVe already?
There's the liquidity pool
Yes.
that people found, and there is a. Let me see if I have it over here. So you could do it on Uniswap or Coinbase Wallet.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's Omi on base though. So you have to get I'd get just Ethereum on base. And then once you do that, like if you do it over on whether it's Uniswap or Coinbase Wallet, the fees are so much less. Like if you do it on
It's like 1 cent.
Ethe-
It's 1 cent a transaction.
on
One-
Ethereum,
one-
it's like $50.
Yeah,
Between the
or-
Coinbase fee and
depend-
Yeah.
It could be even more, like depending on like what's happening on ETH chain at the time, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
on base it's pennies. It's like
Yeah, it's
5
literally a
cents.
cent. It's usually a cent or two for a
Yeah, it's
transaction.
like 5 cents, I think.
Yeah.
But
That
it's
5
super,
cents would be
super,
high. Yeah, 5 cents would be if the gas is high. The gas.
it's super low.
Yeah.
But again, like, you know, I don't care about that. The 5 cents, it's awesome. But there's not a ton of liquidity. There's like 280,000, which I mean, that's nice. I'll take it. Fantastic. The more ease of access to it, the better. But unfortunately, just, you know, if somebody's got like $1 million, $500,000, I can't really, you know, they'll wipe it.
280,000. That's actually a fair bit. That's a fair bit because it'll be going back and forth as well. It
Yeah.
won't just be all people buying. Though we are getting more towards diamond hands now. We're getting towards the bull run. So obviously, guys, since the last show to this show, we've had the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin's gone from 900 Bitcoin per day to 450. We've got Hong Kong ETFs have been approved last week, and that means that next week in 7 days, the Hong Kong ETFs start running and they start buying up Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we've got the US ETFs buying Bitcoin. We've got the Hong Kong ETFs going to start buying. Then there's South Korea and Japan that are coming along as well on Bitcoin ETFs. So it's going to get like a bloodbath for Bitcoin soon. Really good for the overall altcoins. It's good for Omi. We're going to have it's going to be a super year this year, and then potentially even bigger next year. I don't know. What do you guys think? Rain, do you think next year will be better than bigger than this year for crypto?
I think it happens this year. Like right now, we're in this little lull, and this lull could last a month or two. But when the blow off top happens, it usually happens over a 3-month period. So you can see this collision happening that's going to cause a supply shortage for people that have been in crypto for a while, and you're seeing, like, you know what the Bitcoin halving means, and you see these ETFs picking it up, and there's going to be some supply that the miners have stored on the side to sell, but that's going to go through much faster than normal because all these ETFs picking it up. And so we're going to run into this supply shortage, which is then going to cause the price to rise really fast. And when it does, when Bitcoin breaks 100,000, then normal people are like, wait, what is going on with crypto? I knew I needed to look into that. They then buy Bitcoin, but then they start buying meme coins as they start getting educated on other things. And then they start FOMOing into other projects. And so you see Bitcoin run up tremendously, and then you see a cascade through the alts, and that's coming. So I think a lot of it might happen this year, but if it doesn't happen this year, it'll roll into next, but it's still coming.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think majority of the run will be this year. I think there'll be, you know, it's gold did an 8-year bull run once it had the ETFs, and gold is actually more inflationary than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is more scarce than gold now after this last halving, and it's only going to get more and more scarce.
Yeah,
and
we know
so,
how much is going to be produced, but for gold,
what's
that's
crazy.
infinite.
Can you guys imagine if the 4-year cycle is broken? We just have 8 years of crypto bull run. That would just be insane.
I don't. That's too much. That's too much wealth creation.
That's too much.
Look, like there's cycles, and it's like proven. It's funny because people are like, economists and philosophers, so many people have tried over the ages to try to stop cycles, right? But there's always bubbles because people speculate and money pumps and things like that. And then at some point people are like, I got to sell. Like for whatever reason, they start selling, and then that starts something. And there's a lot of greed and all these things and like all this stuff that builds up and then it deflates again. Like regardless, there are always cycles. So even though people are like, now the volatility can change, right? But there will always be ups and downs. Look at real estate. Look, back in 2007 and 6, you see the reports where regulators were basically telling bankers, hey, you have a super high concentration of commercial real estate compared to your capital levels, right? And they're like, but real estate only goes up. If you look since the 70s, real estate only goes up. And they're like, but what if it doesn't go up anymore? Like what happens to your exposure?
Don't tell China.
Yeah, look at China right now. It's the same. Look at these cycles, right? So they continue to happen. I guess where I'm going is people. I experienced this the last bull run where I got greedy and I was just like, oh, numbers are just going up. I put like $1,000 into a project. It launched in like a month, and like I was getting like 40x returns, like immediate. I was like this euphoric, and I'm like, oh, I'm not selling because it's going to keep going up. I sold some, but I had some massive bags that just dropped to 95% down from their all-time highs, you know. And I learned then, and including VeVe stuff, a lot of us that were in 2022, right? What were our portfolio values? They were massive. People will tell me to sell, and I'm like, nope, it's just going to the moon. And I had a lot to learn. And this cycle, as much as it's going to pain me, I'm being a lot more structured and logical in the sell points that I'm like, I'm selling this percentage at this price and this percentage here, and I'm always going to leave a moon bag. And I won't go to the top. I won't get all of it. I won't make it, but like that way I can claim a lot of the gains on the way up and not worry about it.
When it gets euphoric and everyone's like really emotional and excited, it does make it harder to sell. You've got to learn to, I guess, override that. And I did the same thing, man. I was up like crazy on everything, and I was like, it's going up forever. And that's almost like when you hear people saying that, that's probably when you need to start selling.
That's like your indicator, right?
I'm sorry, brain. That I think though it will stabilize a lot more and become less volatile is because of the exposures in the banks and in the the 401ks and things like that, and especially if you're starting to use it towards retirement, where a lot of people aren't going to play the game. Because if you look at moderate predictions for Bitcoin in 10 years, it's like really, and
at least $1 million. At least
it's around $1 million, like at the very least. So, I could even see people who don't want to play the day in and day out game. Like, I don't want to play on the stock market every single day. I just let my, I could see a lot of that, a lot of that money just becoming a lot more stable with people, who aren't like you guys necessarily, and dipping in and out.
We have a good question from SoCal here. Where do you keep your profit after taking profit from USD? Where do you keep it?
That is the golden question, right? So you can park it in real estate, and there's some merit to that. I believe in passive income, so finding passive income, and you can get that from some high yield stocks, dividend paying stocks, and some other sources. You can buy it on rentals where you own it free and clear, or you have maybe 50% leveraged. That leverage does introduce some risk. So I might buy some real estate that's just paid off that I keep as rentals. And that's what provides me cash flow and spending money. That way I can keep a lot of my assets. Like I can pull it into stable coins, but then redeploy it during the bear market again. Some people say, oh, there's a super cycle, it'll never go down. It always does. The cycles continue. Maybe probably this cycle will be bigger than normal. But the farther the pendulum swings to one side, it has to then correct. It just does. It's like saying a pendulum's going to swing to one side and never swing back. It just doesn't happen.
Well, using that Wall Street's cheat sheet, right? That psychological, like you can see goes up, and it was like the disbelief. I think we're just coming out of disbelief now, right? Like it's the first stage before the big bull run up.
And we saw a nice wipe of liquidity or leverage, right? So I remember 2020, we had a nice wipe of leverage. Unfortunately, I had 1.6 Bitcoin that was leveraged, and I had it in a very low leverage long, thinking it would be safe. And, as long as Bitcoin didn't go down by like 50%, I would have been fine. But it went down by like 50% over a period of like a week and a half and got wiped. And I was only wrong for about 3 hours because it went down and then it came up. And that's why I learned the lesson. Just don't do leverage at all, because you can be right. I was right. Bitcoin was going to go to the moon from there. It just went down first. And that's what we saw this last week, was a wipe of the leverage. And now the market can actually do some pretty amazing things in the coming months.
Can't wait.
Rain, I did the exact same thing. This is years and years ago. In 2017, I was actually trading Bitcoin on it's called Plus 500. It's like a closed loop. I think you call it I forgot what it's called. It's like a closed loop system, but they do run, they track the market properly. So I was tracking Bitcoin, and I used leverage, and I had a perfect play, and I was 100% right, but it just dropped.
Just for
it was 5 minutes.
Yes.
5 minutes. And it came straight back up. And if it hadn't dropped that far down, man, I would have made thousands of dollars.
That's whales playing games and taking your money. They see your longs in there, and they're like, I'm going to take that. Eric asked a good question. Don't you think Bitcoin will be much more stable after this cycle because of the ETFs? I really can't say I know how it plays out, but you saw over the past week that a lot of the ETFs, other than the one by BlackRock, were selling. So they do get scared too. So to what degree will they stabilize? Maybe it'll be more stable. But generally, Bitcoin's been pulling back 80 to 85%. So from its high. So maybe it only pulls back like 60 or 70%. That's still a massive swing. As well as you'll have new companies that introduce something with blockchain that will be revolutionary. So you can invest in some of the early stage companies and have your tokens still possibly do a 20 to 100x, even as things stabilize more.
I was gonna, Harris was talking about, will it be more stable and people don't want to have something in their portfolio that can fall 90%. The other thing that I think is very important that people haven't realized, right, is these, whether it's mutual funds or products that contain the ETF, they'll do what is called rebalancing of their portfolio, right? So if the Bitcoin price goes up a lot quicker relative to the other assets in that portfolio, they'll sell some of that Bitcoin to rebalance it, right? Because otherwise the balance of it, hey, if we want a 1% allocation of Bitcoin in our portfolio and then Bitcoin's price doubles or triples, instead of 1%, now it's 3%, they're going to sell some of that. So there will be sell pressure there, but then other ones are buying it up. And when you talk about will it be more volatile, that's where the volatility will still be. But I think that we will start seeing just a general trend upwards into perpetuity now, just like we've seen with the stock market. That's what happens is once you got people putting money into their 401ks on a continual basis, I just want some exposure to Bitcoin. I just want some. And so every month there's a little bit money going into Bitcoin, and they might sell some of that, but the next month more money is going into the Bitcoin ETF there. And so yes, there will be volatility. I don't see it as crazy as it has been, where it goes down 90% going forward because of that. But yes, still some volatility, but then overall a trend upwards. And that's if you look at stocks, they'll do share buybacks and things to take some of that out of the market. But in general, they'll have some that they can introduce more back into the market. Whereas Bitcoin, there's a set price there. It'd be very interesting to see something like that, where the quantity is completely known and we know when it's coming and when it's having and all of that. It'll be very interesting. But yes, I love the question, Harish. I do think there will be volatility. I don't think it will be as big. But I do think that we'll just start seeing a general upward trend from here on out through that.
Agreed. I love how you'll be able to track the inflows of everything. And like I said, with the 401k, a buddy of mine that I'm staying with, he moved some out of his Fidelity account. He bought 2 Bitcoin this morning. And he's like, that's just my safety bag. I was like 100%.
Yep.
For me, stable coins are nice. Even gems on VeVe, you would have been better off purchasing gems on VeVe as opposed to a couple of stable coins that we had last bull into this bull, because we would have lost it all if you did that in Terra Luna. And obviously that's the safer stuff. If you want a return, and if you want some cash flow and residual income, there's real estate. Buy part of a business. But for me, I'm gonna buy into a lot of the Pokemon cards that I think are really undervalued. Even if they go on, let's say there's another bubble or there's another quick rise, a lot of those grails did not fall near as much as any crypto did over the last couple of years. So that's probably where I'll park some of my profits. Just get that make the child inside me a little happy.
So you're going back to the Pokemon cards? That's awesome.
I know it. I know most of the people that are in that high end, upper echelon of cards. It's a small community. It's growing, but it's people there, and it's nice and easy to cash flows.
What does Planet Vampire say here? When Bitfox inevitably returns, we could secure our profits. They're staking Omi till next cycle.
Guys,
is he saying that we're staking because you can't get it out? Is that what he means?
If anyone's reading that and they're from the audience, there are rumors because there's one of the former executives of Bit4X said he had contact with the team, and they said they were working with authorities. Whether anything comes from that, we don't know. I would say it's a coin flip or a roll of the dice. Obviously, I would never go on and stake anything. I mean, if there was like Coinbase, I think it'd be fine to stake on for me. I don't know about anyone else, but not your keys, not your crypto. You run that risk, especially with a company like Bit4X that has already kind of gone away, but hopefully comes back.
I would stake on Bit4X. Just kidding. I would.
Harish has another question. Would you guys take profit from alts and keep some of it in Bitcoin by the end of this cycle? I think that's pretty smart because Bitcoin never goes down as far as the alts do. And Bitcoin usually comes up before the alts as well. So I can see that being useful, but depends how high Bitcoin gets. So we have a problem though with Bitcoin that might happen. And if it happens, Bitcoin could go up to infinity. And that is that the actual exchanges may run out of Bitcoin this time. It's never happened before, but if the exchanges actually run out because of all the different ETFs buying it, there's no Bitcoin on any exchanges. You have to wait till retail go and transfer some in to cash some out because Bitcoin goes up so high. It's going to be very, very, very difficult to get Bitcoin, and therefore the price will just go up to infinity.
You would have to assume, and I guess this is a big if, but you would have to assume that a bunch of these guys talk, and the hedge fund managers and the exchanges and everyone are like, hey, we can still do this, right, without pumping up the price way too much. Like, you have the volume, and most likely there would be some talks on, hey, let's make sure we don't do this so that they don't have to kind of screw themselves that way.
I don't know if that'll work because Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and USA all fighting for Bitcoin. They're not going to be in talks.
Well, as the price goes up, then more people will just move their Bitcoin to sell it to make profits. I mean, that is what causes the supply shock that then causes prices to go up, is that there's way more buyers than there are sellers until the price equalizes. Because at 500,000, boy, there'll be a lot more sellers than there are today.
But eventually it'll be all diamond hands. And so that's where we have the real problem.
It's never always all diamond hands, except with the secret rare logo group. The Ecomi secret rare logo group. Just kidding. Some have two, right? Smart, because if you buy one and you're enjoying the group, you can't part with it. But if you buy a second one, then you can take profits on it.
There you go. So if you guys want to get in the secret rare logo Ecomi group, either contact Randy, Doc, or Mr. MC1.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fastest way is Mr. MC1. He has a spreadsheet just to verify that someone's not taking a screenshot of a logo and being like, oh, I own this. He'll be like, nah, someone already has that. And he can verify on Stacker and things. So, I mean, he is the fastest. But honestly, if you can't get a hold of him, I can still, Randy or I can still add you to the group. But if you're showing that screenshot, you'll get kicked out just like that, so. If you don't really own it.
Yeah, he was not just the one with the number on it, but where it actually has your username and your logo number.
Yeah.
Paul Lizzie.
Hi, Paul.
What's up, Paul? Nice picture.
What's up, Lizzie? Good to see you, man.
BlackRock already has more Bitcoin than US government. Yeah, I think so. BlackRock now have more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy, which is insane because MicroStrategy spent years and years buying all the Bitcoin.
They also own a bunch of MicroStrategy too, so they've been going huge on Bitcoin.
BlackRock miners, they own a lot of miners.
BlackRock owns MicroStrategy, or wait,
a lot of it, a percentage of it in the shares.
Yeah,
in the shares. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
Before the ETF was approved, they were buying a bunch of MicroStrategy.
Interesting.
Wes is always asking this.
You're assuming that I'm indoors, Wes.
Bold.
You're actually on a beach, right? You drop the green screen and you're just on Maui.
Have you seen those TikToks of the guys doing it for their boy? They're out, but his girlfriend's calling on Skype, so they have to hold up a sheet and give him a pillow to make it look like he's sleeping.
Oh, that sounds hilarious. That sounds hilarious. Oh my gosh. Do not disrespect the glasses. Oh, I love goals coming for Wes. We need to get
at least once a stream I make Lori facepalm.
I love
Randy,
golf with Wes.
I never thought how you could possibly cheat or do something you shouldn't be doing with the advent of FaceTime, other than just turn your phone off until now.
I mean, I don't do it.
Agree.
I've just seen people on TikTok do it.
That is
It's
insane.
society to blame.
Get the green screen, get the pillow.
Fun.
Why is
So
there
good.
glitter all over your
Oh,
face?
so we do need to talk about Stacker, because I know Doc, you mentioned it just before. Stacker R. Dr. Profit's awesome website and collectible. They now have a way of connecting to VeVe feed right directly, and they've got the is it the 2FAs, like the same type of 2FA as VeVe's? That's what happened recently.
They can give you a pass key.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they are connecting, and now Randy has found a base Omi liquidity pool.
Yeah, but so there was a
interesting.
couple of people that were asking about Stacker and saying like, hey, why do I have to connect through a third party? And Dr. Prophet just said that it's the VeVe wallet so that you can connect your account properly and show your collection. And they don't store the password. Like there's no risk of anyone stealing it because you only interact with auth.vv.me. So Stacker doesn't have access to that. It's just to get like the wallet address so they know what you have and they can display how much your collection's worth, etc.
And be more accurate than it has been, because with the API they'd had before, there was and they're still working on some kinks, but like, I mean, you saw Rolex had said that there were some comics that seemed to be missing, like from when you look at VeVe compared to Stacker, he's like, it looks like it's not counting all my comics and things. But I think that there's a reason to get into Speculationville. Like there's more reasons than just like what's happening. I don't know. When you see this liquidity pool that's already being built, Dr. Prophet's doing some stuff, man. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see like what all is being built, because like he's just kind of working in the background. All of a sudden people find this liquidity pool, and then you find out that Dr. Prophet's kind of creating that and accessibility on base, which is bullish. And I don't know. I'm pretty excited. And then that thing, right? That tweet that David you had with the Stacker tweet. You saw that, right?
Everyone keeps saying like, oh my God, Masters of the Universe confirmed. Guys, I don't think we're getting that anytime soon. That's not what he's talking about.
I don't think that's what he's talking about either. But I think that there is more than meets the eye right now. With that, when I look at that tweet, right, that David had on Stacker, when I look at what's being like this new passkey and sign-in system, and then this Omi liquidity pool, trying to start connecting dots, and it looks like there's something bigger. And so when Philip is saying potentially Omi to NFT, like I don't know how that would work, but like, is that potentially possible? Like it might be, right? And this is where it's fun to get Speculationville going and saying, okay, what's going to happen here?
I mean, that would be really cool if you could potentially buy Omi maybe already in layer 2 through Stacker and have it connected to your VeVe wallet. That would just be amazing.
Be huge. That would be
and
huge.
Because right now there's nowhere easily to buy Omi in US. It's not really possible right now. Like I think the easiest way is on Uniswap, right? With
that or Coinbase wallet. You have to pay for it though.
Gas fees. Yeah, gas fees of like $50 as we've been chatting about.
So it's fine for those of people that can put 5 or 10K at a time, if it even lets you do that without it pushing the price. But
it does.
If you
push
can only
the price.
do like $100 at a time.
I bought Omi through Uniswap, and it does push the price quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you will impact the price 6%. I'm like, well, I want more Omi, so.
Yeah, it seems like, one thing that I can say is that VeVe has done very well with, compared to a lot of other projects, is they understood upfront that if you don't, if they didn't have it on Apple, if you didn't have it mainstream, if you didn't have it functioning like Amazon, put your credit card in, get gems, you were not going to get a base of users. Of course they had to pay for it, but I couldn't imagine buying Omi. I would not buy Omi, like probably, really. I would ask someone to buy for me. Just being honest, my husband buys it. But, I don't doubt what you're saying, Doc, because I think that they understood and they took the pain of the 30% it being an app, it being, because they knew that, okay, you guys in crypto are great, but they need more. Like, we need more than the guys in crypto, for the NFTs. We need the moms, we need the kids, we need the grandmas. So I think they understand that, and they put the money and they put the effort there first. And I hope that they model buying Omi very much after that. And that's what's really taking the time, to get VeVe set up and lucrative, and then get it, to where it would be great if it would be a matter of signing in, and putting your credit card in, and boom, you have Omi.
That would be amazing to have it that simple. That is one of the reasons they got so far ahead of all their competitors, was you could have this app and you could, just make a purchase on it like what you're used to. You get it right on the app on your phone. It was relatively easy to onboard people without them having to know about MetaMask wallets and all these things. So
the
as much
McFarlane drop, right? I was so pissed. I never
pissed about what?
I'm going to go on again. It just did. You had to do Matic, and then you had to do this and switch to that. And I'm like, you know what? Screw that. Okay, you guys want to do that? Maybe you'll be rich because you're first on the blockchain. But no. I'm just not. And then,
it makes it hard to onboard the masses, right? So they went a route that had some downsides to it, but some upsides, and the upsides outweighed the downsides. Ask all their competitors. So that put them farther ahead, and they're fixing some of these other things. Cool. But they are the market leader in this. Like, who is even close to them? I would say NFL All Day, UFC Strike, which is all run by Dapper Labs. They're the only other major competitor that I can see that has a bunch of good licenses. I think Ecomi/VeVe is like run away with this in the leader position.
Yeah.
Agreed 1,000%.
And so much easier. Than
I like this idea.
One click Omi.
One click Omi. Yeah,
That would
that's
be
what we need.
amazing.
It's as easy as doing like an Amazon order, right? When you order something from Amazon online, it's so easy and so simple and so streamlined. We need that for Omi, and it just
it's
gets
getting ridiculous, right? Like, it's getting seamless now. Even on your phone, it's like, boom, there's my credit card. How'd you know that?
It's like, too easy to buy stuff, right? I've bought stuff on Amazon on impulse because it's just like, I've already bought it. Whoops.
Before, it used to be horrible, like to buy online, like you have to fill out all your information, put your credit, like there was just, and now it's just,
your credit card's hooked up to your account.
It's becoming
instantly one-click button, buy now instantly. It's way too easy. And with Amazon, it gets delivered in one day. It's awesome. Love it.
Have you guys seen the meme of this? It was like this guy and like ordering off Amazon 10 years ago. Oh, my order got here in 5 days instead of 7 days. How nice. It's like ordering off Amazon now. It's like, if my kitty cat coasters don't get here by tomorrow, I'm going to kill myself.
Speaking of that, they've got a lot of drones now they're working on around the world with deliveries, and they're getting better and better at drone deliveries.
My gosh.
I hear
scary.
Walmart is going hard on drone deliveries.
That's scary.
So
Did you guys ever see the show Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah, I love that.
And he sits down and he orders on Amazon, right? And it's like the doorbell rings and he's like, "Oh, it's my Amazon order." And the roommate's like, "That can't be your order. You just ordered it. It doesn't happen that way." Sure enough, it's the order. Funniest part in the movie.
Yeah, he's just sitting at the door waiting.
It's almost gone that way, right? Like at the time, I'm like, "Oh, that's so ridiculous." But literally, I put in Amazon orders at like 10 a.m. and at like 1, it's on my door. I'm like, how the frick? The logistics behind that are crazy.
Well, there's going to be a major economic impact that we're going to have to deal with, I think, pretty soon as a country. I think within all of our lifetime, if not in the next decade or two. I read an article the other day about the fast food restaurants thinking that they're going to be able to completely run on machines and AI an entire restaurant.
Jobs? You're talking job loss?
Oh, I think there's going to be a huge, job loss on, so many of the, it's going to be a lot like, kind of when the machine, when they switched from manual labor to kind of like the machine labor and stuff. I think we're going to go through that again. And I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to have we're going to have to kind of think about what kind of impact that's going to have, because as AI is rolling and technology is rolling, there are so many jobs that are just, I mean, and we're getting programmed to obsolete those jobs. You know, I had a great experience with an AI medical person. Like, what would you like refilled? When would you like it? Thank you, Lori. Have a good day. And I'm like, oh, it's really getting good now. It's not the old
pretty good.
days of press one if this, press, and then like, you know, it is starting to get freakishly good.
Who
it
here
may-
uses? Oh, sorry, Laurie. Who
no,
here
I'm
uses?
just, we're going to see a big change in a lot of manual. I mean, you know, manual
skilled labor.
Skilled labor is going to get hit very hard with AI. And
Well, low skilled labor will be hit, but then you have people that are involved in programming that stuff and in automating it and stuff. And so low skilled labor gets hit by it, just like they have big combines that harvest the wheat fields. They didn't used to have those. And people are like, oh my gosh. On one hand, it makes wheat way cheaper. On the other hand, yeah, a bunch of people that used to go harvest that by hand lost their jobs. And so it's like, it does make things cheaper because where things are going, relatively cheaper, right? The reason why things keep going up isn't because things aren't cheaper. It's because the value of your money is being deflated massively. Like 17 to 18% this year. And so that's why prices keep going up. But you should, if it weren't for that, you should actually see some prices coming down in the coming years.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, you know, there's even, you know, when the horse transferred to the car, you know, blacksmiths and and all these, you know, farmers and such, they lost income. But, you know, it's becoming crystal clear with just the ease of things and the speed that I'm seeing. Just like I said, just in you know, everyday types of things. And when I read that article about McDonald's will be, you know, staffed with one person because everything else is
Yes, it
like
makes
a
sense.
high skilled manager will pretty much run it. John P.S. Programming won't be hit by AI. LOL, as a software engineer, that's crazy. Yes, programming will be hit by AI. Yeah. Absolutely. But then there will be people programming AI, right? So your higher programmers will have like job security like you can't believe, and the basic stuff will all be automated by AI.
Yeah.
So I already saw one. It's a AI agent system where you tell it a task. So you can basically get something like off Upwork or one of those. You feed it the data of the task. It'll go out and it'll make other AIs go and it'll find all the information it needs and do the programming and actually build the program out and complete the task. And it just keeps going till it does it. And then you can like literally hand this off on Upwork and you've just made $1,000 or whatever. And the AI did all of it. Like, and you can actually watch in real time where the AI is browsing the web to look for information. And it's absolutely insane. That's programming, right? And then you've got Sora, which does video, which is like real life looking video. There's a guy who in Hollywood who has $800 million worth of plans to upgrade his studio. He canceled those. He canceled $800 million worth of plans.
You mentioned that. And how many people did that impact? Probably. Exactly,
right. And then we've got music. I just talked about Udio, which is using the same system as Sora, same sort of way of neural nets running it, which is amazing for making music now. So you've got music impacted, you've got video and TV impacted, you've got programming impacted. We know we've got all the graphic designers, photography. Basically everything is impacted, and the only things that can't be impacted yet, because we don't have very good robots yet, is the physical labor market, and they're coming, right? You guys have seen Optimus, Tesla's robot.
Yep.
And there's a whole bunch of others. There's I think I showed Figure 01 when we were on here. You guys saw that one? I think we did the live stream of it.
Was that with the puppies?
I think that's the one where he like puts rubbish in the trash and he does it at the same time as talking about what he's doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you showed us that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like it is pretty crazy. But what happened, right? Like you guys were talking about, we had the Industrial Revolution, and so we lost tons and tons of jobs, but then was more jobs were made. So I guess it's going to be the same thing. More jobs will be created as more jobs are lost.
Yeah.
I mean, when the steel when the steel mills went down in the Rust Belt, you know, in the late 70s, early 80s, I mean, it just wiped the area out. I mean, it did. But over time, they're kind of rebuilding now more as medical, different specializations, etc. But it's going to happen, and I do think that we are on the cusp of another technological revolution, and it's just becoming quicker and quicker in everyday life that I'm seeing. I mean, even just everything has a self checkout, and it's just like they're programming us. I mean, not they're programming us, but they're getting us comfortable with, just
AI everywhere. Yeah. Have you
Everywhere.
guys used? Do you guys use Facebook Messenger? Anyone here use Meta Messenger? Facebook Messenger?
I used
Little
to.
bit.
I got too
bit.
much to keep up with, though.
So I use it a little bit because some of my friends still use it, and I don't use Facebook at all, like the actual website, Facebook or anything. But they've now got Meta AI in there as a friend, so you can talk to an AI bot, and it is so good. You can actually you can ask it to do all sorts of things. It'll do it, but you can also ask it, "Oh, can you make an image of a Tesla Roadster in space?" And it'll just come up with these amazing images within 3 seconds inside the app. And you can save those images and everything. And it is super smart. I said, can you give me a Bitcoin price prediction for 2024 and 2025? And it goes and it finds all the sources online it can of different price predictions. It shows the sources. I said, okay, well, we take that data and can you give me an average? And it shows you how it grabs all the data and averages it all. And it gives me the results and says, okay, 129,000 USD is the average from all these. And it says like not financial advice, but it is so clever now. And this is just like a personal assistant now that you have for free if you have Facebook Messenger. And it talks, it understands context really well. So if you've been talking about something, you don't even have to tell, like you have a conversation with me. We've been talking about cars. So we're on the subject of cars. If I say something, it's about cars. It does the same sort of thing. It is actually better than ChatGPT in the way I've experienced this so far. I think it says running on Llama 3, which is one of the large language programming models. There's so many now. My current girlfriend is AI. I wouldn't doubt that, right? They have AI girlfriends everywhere now.
If you guys watched, Brain, I feel like were you the one who shared this with me? I don't know. There's this video by Raoul Paul. You guys got to look this guy up, Raoul Paul. It's called The Exponential Age. I think he made this video like 2 years ago, but he just talks about what's coming. He talks about the metaverse. He talks about AI. He talks about crypto, and basically just like with how quickly things are progressing. Once we get to like AI and potential supercomputers and what that's going to look like, it's just like game over. And
Game over.
The crazy thing is, though, for the first time in history now, over the last like 50 years, and this is a whole nother problem, right? But like our brains and like the development of like our species over time, like we're learning things and we're adapting, but like the pace at which things are evolving are so much faster than our brain can comprehend and evolve that it's creating these psychological issues. You know what I mean? Like if you look like the rise of social media and then what's happened to kids as like just like the processing of all this information and like being able to know about everything that's happening all over the world like all at once, and that's just like the beginning. Now you have AI telling you all these things, but then what's real and what's not real. It is crazy. But he talks about this, and part of it is like really scary, but then also part of it is just like really exciting and bold, as
We've got
advances in healthcare, right? And cures for common illnesses, and I mean, it's limitless. But yeah, this exponential age, I love that term, right? Exponential. That's what we're seeing. It's just watching AI.
We are all AI right now. We are all AI.
He has.
I was going to say by 2025 we'll have like AI's program. So it's like if I can't make it because I'm on a beach somewhere, let's have my AI stand in for me, right?
But what's going to be important then from the standpoint of education if all the knowledge is at your fingertips? I guess, what's going to become important to teach your children? Because when we were children, the important thing to learn was, you learned math, you learned science, you learned all that. If all of that, what are we going to teach now? How to basically it's going to be tool utilization, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not going to be anything me or even Doc knew, or or me and Rain knew it. So it's like I don't know. It's just I mean, skill you're going to still need, right? Like surgeons and skilled things with the hands. Well, even that's what am I saying? It's all freaking turning robotic now, anyways.
Yeah, the laparoscopic surgeries
doctors
are
just
so much
tried it.
easier.
Yeah.
But what do you teach your kids? I guess just like critical thinking and
how to learn is
data analysis.
How to learn is what they really learn in schools these days, because the truth is, like, my kids are like, oh, should I go to the university? I'm like, no. You can learn so much more in a year on YouTube. Like the amount of knowledge that is at our fingertips right now is huge. And when you're learning, say, on YouTube, you're learning, like, you can learn from what's his name, that not Alex Becker. What's the guy? Starts with an M. But some of these people that have YouTube channels are far better than any professor at Harvard as far as business creation and some of the other things. Because one of the problems with, like, university professors,
Mark Rober,
those who can do and those who can't teach. And so that's always kind of been a breakdown at the university level. But now you can go to YouTube and learn by people who actually are experts in their field and get way better knowledge. Like, why would you go to the university unless you need an engineering degree for the job that you need, or you're going to be a nurse practitioner or a doctor or a physician's assistant or something that you need some kind of license for, that you then make big bucks for? Because other than that, like, why would my kids go to the university and get a sociology degree or something like that?
Well, I totally agree with you on if you're going for communications or something like that. The problem is, obviously, some people that are still stuck, that'll take some transition time. Our company, you can't even get a position unless you have a bachelor's degree, at a certain level. I mean, no matter what. Like, they just don't care. And I think that will
That's
phase
usually
out.
because of government contracts that require that.
Exactly. And I think some of that will start to phase out, but you also you have to be disciplined, to do that, know what you want as well. Because if I told my kid right now, just go on YouTube and figure it out, he'd be doing, like, I don't know what he'd be doing. But, I think it's about, helping them figure out what would be best and what they like, because I'm with you. If it's not,
I'll tell you what, though, I don't think university is useful at all anymore. I think if you're trying to start a course now, I think by the time you finish a 3 to 5 year course, whatever you learn is completely irrelevant.
It's not about being useful.
It's about jumping through the hoops to show that
it's not about that. I don't think it's about that unless you're in a hard science field. And I'm an educator. Thanks, Frank. I'm an educator. So, I started high school and, went on, and now I do a lot of adult learning and stuff. So, that's my position now. But I think unless it's like, I took teaching, and yes, they gave you techniques and things you had to do and the regimen of it, etc. So you did have to kind of learn the ways that it works. But, like, there's a lot of courses such as, like Rain said, like sociology and communication. That's just to get a piece of paper to get you in somewhere.
It wouldn't be a proper Monday show if I wasn't offending somebody. Right, Rabbit? Hey, appreciate your thoughts there.
I'll say this. Like, I mean, my wife is a professor, so full disclosure there, right? I might be biased there as well. Yeah, she's smart. I'm married up, man.
Oh, Rain.
She's smart.
Yeah,
I love debating with her. She's smart.
Yeah, she teaches. Well, she got her master's in microbiology and immunotoxicology. So I learned some stuff and she teaches blood banking and immunology at a university. But I'll say this, right? Like, one of the things that universities do for you, like, it does teach you to work in groups where, like, you don't learn that from watching YouTube videos, right? Like, you're not going to learn that. Like, there are social dynamics that are very important for schools there, right? And then also, like, there's some things about, like, there are people who are self-disciplined and they can just do it on their own, right? But there are also, like, setting deadlines and meeting those deadlines, right? And setting expectations. Like, there's a lot of social dynamics that are taught that in groups in universities that you don't really get anywhere else. but you got to pay a ton for that. And like, there might be a way to change that and to make it cheaper, but still get some of that education. And like, I'll say, when you're saying like the things that you're learning in the universities are outdated by the time you graduate, like, I'll disagree with that to an extent, in that, again, like my wife, like every year she's constantly going to conferences, seeing what the newest technologies are or what's going on. And she's integrating that into her courses and things that she teaches there. So, anyways, like with that, I have to bounce. I got to get my daughter to gymnastics, but hey, like I always say, if you guys haven't followed these people on YouTube or on Twitter, please do so. It takes a lot, even if it's just the time that these people are giving to you guys as they're providing their thoughts and insights. There's a lot of experience here in a lot of different areas. So the easiest way to show that support is just to follow and give a like and comment and subscribe. So appreciate you, fam. And yeah, we'll see you pretty soon this week. So
Yeah, thanks for making the time.
Thanks for coming.
yeah,
Love
Thanks,
you.
Al.
Bye. Meow.
Bye.
Yeah, he's such a legend.
Yeah, I love him.
He's
To
great.
piggyback on his last statement, I'm glad to see that still happens. When I was in the veterinary field, it was all the doctors that work there, they had to go to I don't know, I think 50 hours of continuing education, go to conferences like each year, give or take, and because you have to stay current, and that's the gold standard of hospitals, but not every hospital does that. I'm glad to see that she does that, going to continuing education experiences and putting that in her classroom. She's going above and beyond. That's what professors should do. But a lot of professors, typically ones with tenure, that don't have to do that, are not going to do that. And again, you just have potluck. Thankfully, you have Rate My Professor, which will let people know which professors actually care, which ones are cool, and which ones are kind of running it like a drill sergeant.
Well, I think it goes back to, Randy, to really like what we're talking about here. You know, if you're talking the sciences and things like that, yes. I mean, I don't think there's much of a question there. But like, you know, to your point, Jordan, you know, some of the programming courses and computer tech, those things are exactly what you said. They're outdated before you even get it. So you're better off doing like a certification or something like that. But yeah, I can kind of agree with all of you, and just knowing some of the stuff I went through, like some of it was like, what do you come out with like,
Yeah,
woodworking, you know what I'm saying?
Underwater mapping, weaving, those skills are vital.
It might not be worth $200K to get a degree in communications. It just might not be. Whereas, if you're getting one in biohazard engineering, please go get a degree so you can, clean the world up. So.
Yeah, to be clear, I don't think university is completely useless, but I think now, in the time of like 2024, it's becoming useless because of how quick AI is achieving things. I heard we're going to have general intelligence, right? General AI or AGI in the next 2 years. That means an intelligence as good or better than ours. And obviously, it'll be able to process things way faster and everything. So wouldn't you want to teach that AI how to do whatever you're trying to do, and then you just talk to it and it does everything?
Well, we're also talking about
using tools
like big cities. Like I feel like a lot of us are kind of privileged. Like, hey, we're in big cities that have a lot of tech. Like last year, I was in Louisiana for a little bit, a park called Abbeville. Like there's a bunch of Middle America and a bunch of places in the South where a lot of tech just isn't a thing. It was like going back in a time warp like 20 years ago. My cell didn't work half the time. The internet that I had was super slow. I mean, talking about go to colleges 15 years ago, I'd been like, can I invest in a college? As soon as Obama's administration made it so that every single student's loan was guaranteed to be paid back, that's perfect. Like you're guaranteed by the federal government to get paid back. Now, when you have, like the current administration saying, oh, we're going to forgive all these college loans, and then people are essentially going to school for free. I guess it's still good, but there's kind of a big bubble on like what's going to happen to colleges. Where are they going? You have the sports, and then you have the STEM fields. Like those are still going to be great, but I mean, like you said, like there's going to be no point in really going.
I don't think that most people can go to college though and get through it either, though, Randy. Even if it is free, there's
If you think about it, college was oversold. Since we're a kid, we hear, oh my gosh, college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. It's just been overpushed for what the benefit is. So the benefit has fallen and the costs have risen. And so for most people, it doesn't balance out anymore. It used to cost you $12,000 to go to university for 4 years if you were living with your parents. Now, in a lot of cases, you might spend $200,000, $40,000 a year on tuition, or $50,000 a year on tuition, even if you're living with your parents. And so the value has fallen and the price has gone way up. So it doesn't make sense for a lot of people these days.
I just think that I think AI is going to be able to do everything better than we can do it. So learning that, I think
Probably a lot of things better. I don't know that everything, but a lot of things better.
Yeah, we're going to need to learn how to use it, right? Like it's a tool, and we're going to have to be really, really, really good with our text prompts or our voice prompts and know how the ins and outs of using it. But yeah, like I feel like we're going to that place where it's either going to go really, really well for us because AI is going to help everything make really cheap, really easy, really convenient, really fast, or it's going to take over and wipe us all out like Terminator.
Yeah.
So we got, I don't know, maybe it's a middle ground. I don't know. Hopefully, it's cool. A lot of these big language models, LLMs, are being put online now, open sourced. So like Grok, Elon Musk open source Grok AI, so you can now go online and download it. And I've heard of a few others that have been open source too. So not just one, there's multiple, which means that it's a fair playing ground for everybody now in the AI space. It's not like Google has the only good AI. Okay, so it's not going to be a monopoly on AI, which is great. If they were all closed sources of the big AI models like ChatGPT and all that, we'd be in big trouble because they'll just get one AI that'll just be like the supreme AI that'll take over everything, right? But now it's going to be so many different AIs competing. It should be, fair game.
I hope so. I feel like we're all Woody in Toy Story 1, where he's like, strange things are happening to me, and everything goes from like Woody cowboy stuff to Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear stuff. And I saw an article the other day that Target will not be carrying any physical media in 2025. So that'll just fall to Walmart. And just, I mean, how do we make money with it? Well, digital toys.
Read what Coolmo just wrote. An open AI safety engineer just recently quit, went on Twitter, said AGI in a year, ACI, which I think is artificial super intelligence, within 2 years. He's scared we can't control them. We can't. Like, if it's an intelligence as good as ours, you can't control it. Right? I can't control you guys. You guys can't control me. It's if we make a proper AI, it can't be controlled. So we just want to do the best.
Jeremiah Aoyang put out a poll the other day saying, people, how likely do you believe your government will help society navigate the risks of AI? And 57% of people said very unconfident. I feel like government tends to not do well in anything that they do. And especially when you have a government filled with mostly boomers, some older Gen X. He even said that he was at an industry AI event, and one of the California government leaders came, and she had paper printouts of what her aide had done with ChatGPT-3. She hadn't even used the app, and everyone in the room groaned because it's like, this is what our government, they're not familiar with the new tech, and it's horrible. And China's going to pull ahead because China's all their politicians are technologically literate, and just a little salty here.
Wasn't it Elon that went and said he talked to like everybody he could possibly talk to about the dangers of AI, and nobody like gave a shit, and he was like, all right.
I think there was some things signed with like hundreds of people who've signed a thing saying to slow down AI, but it doesn't really, it's not going to happen. There's too many people working on it.
Yeah, him and Stephen Hawking co-authored that paper a while ago, and fell on deaf ears.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, it's
so I can see why they're not. I can see why they're not too confident in the government if Hawking and Elon tried to, talk to the leaders of the world, U.S.
It's almost like the government has an agenda of their own.
Oh, Jordan, why do you got to throw another level into it? Can't you just accept they're old and dumb?
Yeah, I think it's more conspicuous than that. But AI might actually really help us in a lot of ways. So let's just stay on the positive.
There's good and bad that comes from it, right? A lot of technology. There's good and bad. Like nuclear energy actually gave us nuclear power. So nuclear weapons later gave us nuclear power. So there's good and bad that comes from it. There's good AI. There's bad AI. If you think about it, like AI, imagine we can program AI and robots to go mine the asteroids in space, which would be hugely hazardous to us. And then we could extract the resources, the minerals, silver, gold, all kinds of precious metals out from there without risk of human lives. That's cool.
Yeah.
Elon will do that with SpaceX and Optimus.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
That's where
Bring
things
this
are
all the
going.
way back to VeVe and Omi. We're gonna have like ChatGPT in VeVeVerse.
And yeah, that'll be great.
That's easy to do now. It's actually a lot easier to implement now. In fact, I'm sure by the time VeVeVerse is really full on rolling to public, there'll just be actual companies that are selling these chatbots for in-game metaverses, which means they'll be more optimized, which is awesome. So that's definitely going to be a thing.
Well, they
So
might
that'll
not sell it. They might have to pay VeVe
Yeah, like
or
a licensing.
VeVeVerse to
Yeah.
use that.
Like a rental, like you rent these AI
Yeah,
interfaces.
I
or
mean,
whatever.
they'll have to pay VeVe for them to put it into the VeVeVerse.
That's so funny. I didn't realize that some people were scared of ATMs, but apparently Lori.
I think I remember that as well. I think people were scared of them.
He still is. He doesn't trust them.
So,
What if they don't give you the right amount of money? I'm like, they will, or it'll be on camera. Oh, yeah, right.
Look, I've had cards be eaten up from ATM machines, right? And I've had the wrong money like once ever. I think they gave me like one less note or something. So, ATMs make mistakes. I'm sure AI will make some mistakes. Hopefully, they make a lot fewer mistakes than us humans make. And
my parents don't use them either. My parents don't use them. They're in their late 60s.
Wow.
They just don't use them. They just go to the bank.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why are you
there's people that clip on these little things and it looks like it's part of the ATM, and they just
you just gotta pull on it first, see if it's
because they'll come right off. They're magnetic on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See.
Greetings from Ireland. Yo.
Hi.
Yo, nice.
Cool. So I think we've covered a lot with the Omi and VeVe. I like the Omi layer 2 being able to buy speculation on Stacker. That'd be really, really cool.
It's going that way, right? So like technology shifts. Imagine the day that you can buy it, like we were talking about, just right on your app. You can buy Omi, or you can buy it on the web app and you can put in your credit card information, and some third-party service or something converts, $500 to $500 worth of Omi. Bam, you have it. Like, that's the way technology is going right now. It's difficult, and because it's difficult to get Omi is way cheaper than it would otherwise be. People complain about that. I don't know. I like buying cheap, and as they fix these things, then it's not so cheap. Like, what is funny to me is that some people don't get it, and I'll use a little story about this. I did real estate investment for a number of years, and I met this guy, and we were driving around looking at some land because he said he wanted to invest in some land. And we drive by this corner where a Walmart is going in, a Panda Express and everything. Is like 25 years ago, my family was offered to buy this 40 acres right here for like $25,000, no money down, no interest payments. And I was like, why didn't you do it? And he said, well, because there was nothing here. It's like, yeah, because if there was something there, do you think you would have ever gotten it for $25,000 with no money down in payments? And I was like, look, I can take you about 3 miles north where it's just like land, and the roads are already kind of cut in and they're already mapped out by the city. And we can get you a corner lot. I can get you about 5 acres for about $10,000 or $20,000. And he goes, well, why would I buy out there? And I was like, because that's where it's in your price range. And he's like, yeah, but there's nothing there.
Like, he didn't learn.
Like, what does he not get about this situation? Do you think he's going to walk across this situation where everything's already going in, and now he's going to be able to buy that land for $25,000 to $30,000 when like Walmart just paid like $4 million for their chunk of it? Like, it doesn't happen that way. So you have to buy before the problems are fixed, understanding that the fixes are coming, because that's when the price is cheap, and that's when a lot of people don't have the vision of what is coming and are complaining and running around like chickens with their heads cut off, and the company's so delayed on this and this and whine. Then later it gets fixed and the prices are way higher because all those things are then fixed and it's easier to get. And there's not as much like breakage of like right now, if you're in the US, how do you get Omi? Uniswap, which means you have to have a MetaMask. You have to know how to have a MetaMask. You have to know how to safely do the swap. Just a lot of complexity rather than being able to say in the future it's on Coinbase. Well, people can figure out Coinbase pretty quickly and get an account and then just buy it. Well, then that's simple. And by then the price will be much, much higher.
Yes, actually, just speaking of that, because it's only on the base pool, and Coinbase are adding a way to be able to buy anything that's in the base network really, really, really easily in the Coinbase wallet through like a smart contract. So actually, seeing that you'll be able to just straight up buy Omi really easily in a Coinbase wallet. So that's really cool. That's coming. I know that's something Coinbase are working on. And it's also really good for Chuck, for my little meme coin there that I like to talk about. That's, again, on Base Network. Anything on Base is going to probably blow up. I think Base might be sort of the Solana of this next bull run. Obviously, Solana's still doing extremely well. Not network-wise. They're very congested still, and it takes a while to do transactions. But if you guys look at how many transactions Solana has, it is destroying all other networks at the moment. But again, it's also running really poorly. They need to fix that. But I think Base might be the new narrative for this run. And I hear a lot of people switching from Solana to Base, and a lot of meme coins are going to Base. A lot of projects are going to Base. I know multiple migrations of non-meme coins too that are actually migrating over to Base.
Mm-hmm.
So it is becoming a much bigger sort of layer 2 solution, and it makes sense because it's Coinbase. The one thing is, it's not. I'm not sure. Is it? Ray, do you know if it is decentralized? I think it is sort of decentralized, but it's also still owned by Coinbase, right?
I don't know who controls like the governance of it, and they don't even have a token. So don't run out and buy Base because those are fake tokens. There is no Base token right now. So there's some scammers came up with some Base pairings, but it doesn't have a token. I think you use ETH as the gas on it, right?
Yeah.
You have to bridge ETH over.
And it's really easy. It's really fast.
Yeah, you still got to pay the ETH transaction fee to move it over, but once it's there, fees are really cheap.
It's less than I don't know how they do it. It's less than a smart contract fee. So I'll give you an example. I normally pay about $20 to $30 for a swap, a Uniswap, but to use the bridge.base.org for the bridging of Ethereum to Base, it costs like $5 for some reason. So it is a gas fee, and it's still more than once you get that ETH onto Base, it's like 1 to 2 cents. I think Randy said he saw a 5-cent fee, but I don't think I've even had a fee that high so far on Base. It's been very, 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 very reasonable compared to Ethereum. Of like, I've had $500 Ethereum fees for one transaction. Yeah. I've had failed transactions that cost hundreds of dollars on Ethereum. It still takes your money, guys, even if it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
I learned that on Pepe. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I learned Pepe too. That big run up last year.
He's like, it's gone. I'm like, what do you mean it's gone? He's like, it's gone. I'm like,
you have to put more Ethereum in just to transfer.
No. I'm like, this is some horse shit. And he's like, now you understand crypto. I'm like,
it's not all crypto. It's literally only Ethereum. Solana won't take your money if it doesn't work. ADA won't take your money if it doesn't work. I don't know of any other network that actually just steals your money if it doesn't work.
So how do they keep getting the business?
Well, ETH, they were like first generation. So some of these other ones had the benefits of looking how ETH did it and be like, oh, well, that sucks. It takes your money even if the transaction doesn't go through. So we're going to find a way around that. So it's like, I mean, ETH is old technology, right? A lot of that was designed in like 2014, 2015, 2016. And so third generation blockchains like Cardano, Solana, and everything had some advantages there. And then Base is even like the generation after that. So the technology is getting better.
100%. Yeah.
Despite all the upgrades that it has.
It's hard. It's like trying to change the wings on a flying plane that has a whole bunch of passengers in it when they try to upgrade ETH, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we need to change the wings. Well, you're going to crash the plane. Yeah. So there's limited things that they can do.
What's interesting is Ethereum gas fees haven't gone up too much this cycle because it looks like everyone's got really smart and they're generally all using layer 2 solutions. They're using Solana, using Base, using Cardano. Everyone's trying to avoid using Ethereum layer 1. And it's actually working because gas fees are way lower than at this time last run. Gas fees are already way higher. So that's a really cool thing that's happening this cycle. I'm sure it'll still get expensive, like right towards the peak, but for now, it's not breaking the bank using Ethereum to do a transaction, which is great. Yeah, so you can still buy Omi on Uniswap on layer 1, and now you can buy Omi on Uniswap layer 2 base network. So that's really awesome. So Randy said there's $280,000 liquidity. That's actually that's fairly significant.
It's almost as much as they have on Uniswap, right?
Yeah, I think it's about the same as a Uniswap pool as well.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not bad, and that'll probably grow, right, as more and more people understand and get into it. Anybody can add liquidity to the base network and as well as Uniswap.
They should.
There's sort of like dexes or public pools that anyone can add to. I want to make a shout out to. We've got almost 300 people watching live, so thanks for all you guys coming and watching us. I'm loving towards this bull run. Like our numbers have really like gone up a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
It's fun to see some action, though. What we've seen is nothing yet. Like we've seen some action, like October, starting with the blockchain gaming run, brought some people in. We saw earlier this year new money from new people coming in, which is the start of phase 2 of the bull run. But phase 3 is where the blow off top happens. And we're still in phase 2. Like it was only like a month and a half ago where we started seeing new people, brand new people to crypto putting in new money. And then that all cooled down as like, this last 2 weeks has happened. No new people with new money coming in again, but that'll happen as Bitcoin starts taking off again. You'll see new people with new money coming in. And then the blow off top happens when you have those new people with new money telling all their friends how they just made a 15x. And then you see waves of new people coming in. And then you have this blow off top that goes absolutely crazy. We'll be selling. And other people who are brand new, unfortunately for them, will be buying because they don't understand the cycles yet.
And that money is going to be an education for them, right? The cost of the crypto education.
I paid that cost in 2017. All of us have been through that.
Yeah, I paid
right?
it.
Everyone,
I paid it. We've all paid it.
And there'll be a lot more new
17.
Our vault was $750,000. And it's not even close.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've got to really watch out for rug pulls during this run. I just want everyone to be really, really aware of, you got to really dig into and review and study whatever token it is you want to buy. I would not suggest just aping into any random coin. It's a good way.
If the team isn't doxed, don't do it.
Yeah, generally it's good if the team is doxed, or somebody who knows the founder of them.
Yeah, the rugs almost always happen with undoxed teams. I can't even think of a rug that's happened on a doxed team because reputation risk, possibly getting sued or possibly getting put in jail. So undoxed teams are risky.
For sure, 100% agree. 1 cent jokes? Not jokes, but 1 cent would be nice. I think we'll hit 1 cent this year with Omi. I don't think that's a problem. I think maybe we'll hit more next year.
Floored if we don't hit at least 1 cent. I'll be like, what is wrong with the world? Like, I don't know how it doesn't go to at least 1 cent. Like far
15K riding on it. So let's go.
Yeah.
How much? Oh, 15K for this.
Yeah,
for this year.
it's 10 and 5K bet.
Yeah. Oh, you got 2 bets going. Nice.
Yeah.
Somebody took the other side of that bet.
There were 2 people that took the other side of that bet.
Okay.
1 for 10 and 1 for 5.
Is this like the guy that offered, he like called us out and said, oh, name one token that these guys have talked about that have gone way up and I'll send you like an NFT. And then a whole bunch of our audiences like sent them a whole bunch of tokens. And then the guy just blocked them and didn't send anyone the NFTs. Is it
No, that guy's consistent. That guy's consistently wrong about everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, that guy got proven wrong and then blocked the people so he didn't have to pay.
Yes.
If I block you don't exist.
Are these people on the other side of that going to pay you when it goes over 1 cent?
Well, for one of them, it's in an escrow account. I put in Omi, he put in ETH, and then the other guy, he showed me his wallet, and he's good. He's got I don't know, like 100K worth. Now that 100K could whatever that's worth, maybe he does whatever. That's a gentleman's bet. But after showing me his wallet, I was like, okay, I don't have to put anything up. He doesn't have to put anything up.
Is it by the end of
That's
the year?
it for a calendar
December
year.
30th?
So one of the, I sent so we used one guy for escrow for the 10K bet. I sent him my Omi. He sent that guy his ETH. Now that ETH I think is actually worth probably like 25K now. Like I'm not going to take all that ETH. I would just take the 10K of the ETH and whatever else is left over that goes back to him. But the guy for the other 5K, it's just he'll just send 5K of ETH, whatever. It's fine.
And if your Omi goes to like, I guess if it goes up, it doesn't. It won't.
No,
it won't go to him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he'll like it's not gonna matter.
So
I mean, even if it just goes to 0095 and it doesn't go to, like I'm still a happy camper at that point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That is funny. Cool. Well,
that's still some
exciting.
massive increases from here, but I'll be shocked if it doesn't go like.
Well, the narrative would have to hit though, right? Like before, yeah. So like if it doesn't hit, it'll still probably go up towards that all, even if the narrative doesn't hit, just because there's a bunch of stuff coming. But
yeah, it does look like NFTs might run later, and then obviously Omi sort of runs with the NFTs. That's what happened last time.
Yeah.
But I think we've still got like 8 months, right? Or 7 months and a week. That's a long time, and we've just passed the halving. And I talked about all those catalysts with the ETFs. That's going to make Bitcoin go crazy, and after Bitcoin goes crazy, that money trickles down to the altcoins. I'm excited, guys. I'm super well positioned now. I'm trying not to touch my crypto now. Don't move it. Just hodl now. Because moving around, every time you move it around, you lose like 1 or 2% in fees, right? And so if you move around like 10 of them, you've just lost like 10 to 20% of your value. Obviously, if you put into things that are go much higher, it can still be worthwhile, but it's just easier. I was like, by the halving, I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to let everything just sit, let it ride. If I make mistakes, that's cool. I'll learn, and next cycle I'll do even better. So, I'm excited.
Your final thoughts?
Yeah. Final thoughts, and also any crypto you want to shill as well. Rain, do you want to start?
Mind if I go at the end?
Yeah, sure. Laurie, any final thoughts and any cryptos that you want to shout out?
Final thought. Let's see. Final thought for the day. I got to start thinking about these things beforehand because I feel like we get to talk about everything here. But my final thought is it's been a rough past, year and a half, and things are starting to look bright, and patience will pay off. So I hope everyone is prepared and is celebrating with us here over the next few months.
Awesome. Thanks, Laurie.
And I'm done.
I'm done. You done? Yeah. You done or you're not done?
I'm done.
Yeah,
I said, and I'm done.
You're done. Yeah, good. Before Randy goes on, SEC lawyers forced to resign for gross abuse of power in crypto case. Win for crypto. Woo!
Yay.
All right, Randy.
If I can quote Doctor Strange in Infinity War, we're in the end game now. We're past the halving. There'll be a lot more new people in here than last time, and you have the ETF, so that's soon. You have just from this kind of a spin-off of the show, because Dr. Stuff can almost never make it on Mondays. You have that Omi is My Homie show it'll be on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week.
I'll be watching.
Mr. MC1 will be the first guest, and then you have once per month now, like from a mentorship program, they're going to bring in someone on the Ecomi Secret Rare Discord. If you have the Ecomi Secret Rare, get in the Telegram, get in the Discord, contact Mr. MC1 or contact Dr. Stuff or me. And, first guest is going to be Dr. Profit, and it's going to be one guest per month that's just super hyper successful in something. They'll tell you how they made it, what to look out for, why they have a Secret Rare logo, whether it's because they bought one or because they had 10 million Omi. Okay, why did they have 10 million Omi? And if people get kind of sick and tired of hearing it from me, listen to everyone else that goes and tells you why they have that, why they received it in the first place. Perspective. If you don't share my perspective, maybe you'll share from someone else's. It's the best advice I can give.
Awesome.
It's cool.
Rain.
Yeah, so a lot of the VeVe fam, it's kind of split between different reasons that people come here. I come from a crypto investment standpoint. And so my goal was, like, I saw this window of time where crypto was a new technology that most were unaware of. And this kind of happened with the internet revolution in the 90s. And before that, the software revolution of the 80s. I guess the internet revolution started in the late 90s, but went through like 2010. And if you include Facebook and some of the other things, that was 2012 through 2018. So major changes of technology that a lot of people haven't woken up to, but they will. And so I saw this opportunity where most people aren't aware of some things that are happening. And as they become aware, there will be this massive transfer of wealth. And so then I look for narratives that make sense. And one of the reasons why Omi is one of my favorite ones is because I do think digital collectibles in many ways have some superior qualities to physical collectibles, and that we're going to a digital age where a lot of our flexes aren't going to be art that we put on the wall. It's art that we're going to put on our social media or in a metaverse or something. And so VeVe is just well positioned in this, and their token Omi, which has gotten a lot of FUD and a lot of hate because it's essentially been down because we've been in a bear market. Well, cool. I don't know about you. I'm an investor. I like to buy low and then sell high. And, we're at the point that a lot of people have lost faith because it's been down for so long. They're like, it'll never go up. And they just don't understand how these cycles work. They're just new in investing. I mean, most people that are here haven't already made tens of millions of dollars through investing. So they don't understand cycles. They don't understand buying when there's blood in the streets, even when it's your blood. And so Omi, I think, is an amazing opportunity that many are going to pass on. I had 10 million in my account. I got the secret rare. Why? Because, I've been stocking up on Omi for the past couple of years, buying as much as I can, because where will it go from here? Well, I'd be shocked if it only went to 1 cent, but I don't have a magic crystal ball. I just like the risk profile of it. The company behind it is doing some amazing things. They're in my opinion, the lead position in this idea of digital collectibles. And some people say, but Rain, what if the digital collectibles narrative doesn't hit this bull run? And they're right. Maybe it won't. I don't have a magic crystal ball to know for sure, but I don't see why it won't hit. I don't see why that won't become a major narrative that gets talked about and people go crazy and then FOMO it. So that's one of my favorite bets in this bull market. And I like the potential risk as I see it versus potential reward for my own investment. What you guys decide to do, well, that's fully on you. I'm just heavily invested in Omi, and I keep buying more because I believe from here at these prices, it's an amazing deal.
Awesome. Thanks, Rain. And I just want to point out that even at 1 cent, that's still like a 13x from here. That's still going to be a significant gainer compared to almost any other crypto. Now I'm going to try. I think I stuffed this up. I've got some Omi outro music. I can put it on, but it's going to keep us on the screen. So next week I'll fix it so there'll be a video for it as well. But if you guys want to dance to this music, I'm going to put the outro music on now. And just before I do that, I want to shout out our sponsor, Epico Games. Check them out, epico.io, as well as I like the Chuck token, meme coin on base. Check that out. Okay, here we go for the music.
What they say, it's the rise of the digital G. Omi token got the market bound, can't you see? Which crypto, NFT, non-fungy fame on an economy spree. I'm the buzz one.
I like it.
The blockchain, no mystery. Live. Wow, can't ignore the stats. I'm repping on this. Yet I chuckle cause I'm betting on this.
It's actually fun. Look at this.
It's been rise.
AI's gonna replace Taylor Swift.
Call me Omi, that's the play. NFTs jumping day to day. Look at the charts. Sky's the limit. I'm invested in it, and I'm going to win it. Got that digital gold rush. It's the bomb, but remember, play a coin, make a wish. This is not financial advice.